baseball on a warm, sunny afternoon in Kansas City. It's the third and final game between the Royals and the Rays, with the Royals trying to avoid being swept. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joel Goldberg will be coming up in a couple of segments. Well, the Rays have won a couple of one-run games with the Royals, and last night scoring early, you had some keys for Ian Kennedy. He simply just didn't have it last night, and now Jason Hamill coming off a start where he gave up 9 runs. What are keys for him today?
And I'm telling you what, he's really got to get some early count outs right now, but he's got to pitch to contact too. I'm going to show you a couple of them here. It's important that he gets off to a good start, but the main thing for him, set a good tempo. When you posture around, when you take time in between pitches, it gives the offense confidence. You don't want that. Keep the defense on their toe. Early count outs is going to help you stay in the game and go deeper into it. Pitch to contact, that goes and pertains to early count outs. Get those outs, use that defense, and he should be okay, but he's got to get some run support.
The Rays have taken a page out of the Royals' old playbook with good defense, good bullpen, and some small ball to take the first 2 games of the series. And have some strawberries. Ooh, it's probably healthy. I don't know.
Looks good to me.
The Rays last year and the year before, they hit a lot of home runs. They struck out a lot. It did not translate into many runs. They made a drastic change offensively, and their small ball approach has them just 4 games under 500.
And it can be difficult to defend. Okay, the home run ball, the swing and miss, you can put your guys in the right spot. But when you're facing an offense like this, the Tampa Bay Rays, they got a little sting. That's right. They got some speed. Okay, got to have speed to set the table, but also you have to have the mentality of moving runners. Okay, get the bunt down, even from guys that are power hitters. But look, this is a nice little squeeze play right here. They were able to score a run. This is the part of the defense that really has to tighten up. The Royals got to get a win out before they get out of town.
That was just 1 run, but it ended up being a 1-run game last night. Joel's coming up. He'll talk about Hunter Dozier, who'll be making his 3rd straight start at first base today.
7.5 minutes, looking for his first win of the year, and the Royals hoping to win for the first time that Jason pitches. That had not happened in the previous 8 starts. Joel Goldberg back here at Kauffman Stadium. Jeff Montgomery has the day off, looking for some positives. How about the opportunity right now for former first-round pick Hunter Dozier, with Lucas Duda going on the disabled list earlier in the week? Dozier came up and has had a couple of starts. He'll have his 3rd straight start today. He made his big league debut back in 2016. Had 19 at-bats and 2 hits. Those were the first 8 games of his career. Now 2 more games in his career after returning to the big leagues. And last night he had his first ever multi-hit game at the big league level. Scored both times that he got on base, driven in by Whit Merrifield in both of those circumstances. So he had a single and a double on the game. And the Royals will try to get things going here this afternoon.
Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Going back to last year, the Rays have now won back-to-back series against the Royals for the first time in 9 years. And now today, the Royals try to avoid a 3-game sweep. The lineups and the first pitch are coming up next. warm, not hot, and mostly cloudy, 74 degrees at first pitch. The Royals will have tomorrow off and then begin a 3-game weekend series with the Yankees. Well, the Rays have been just as advertised. They've only hit 1 home run in this series. They have hit the ball to all fields, and the key hit for them in the 2 one-run victories has been an opposite field base hit. And this is how they're lined up today to face one-time Ray Jason Hammel.
Jason Hammel, he understands that it's been a while since he's won a game, but he has the ability, if he can just execute and hit his spots. Hamel's got a fastball, slider, curveball, changes. Slider's been his most effective pitch. They haven't homered off of it. He throws it 35% of the time. Curve and change are going to be extra pitches, but he's really, his keys are to kind of get ahead. He wants to make sure to get ahead, set a good tempo, and then do the best he can to finish guys off. But he has done a good job, though, as far as getting ahead of hitters. Royals defense, Alex Gordon in left field. Almonte getting a chance to run him down in center. John Jay in right. He can play anywhere, all 3 outfield positions. Hunter Dozier, 3rd straight start at first base. Whitley's at second. Escobar's at short. Moose at third. Salvador Perez, he's the catcher, and he'll throw you out if you get on base and try to take a steal on him. He's been really good this year.
There's our crew chief, first base umpire Tim Timmons, who was talking to Rays first base coach Ozzie Timmons. No relation. Mike Malinsky will call the balls and strikes with Rob Drake at second and Sean Barber at third. Denard Span opened the game last night with a single, and he scored 1 of 3 runs against Ian Kennedy. And objective number 1 today for Jason Hammel is to get through the first inning without allowing a run. He did not allow 1 run in the first inning in his first 6 starts, but now he's allowed 3 in the first inning in his last 2 starts. And here's Span on base again. Leadoff man on.
Hamel's going to try to get ahead, and he's done that so far. That he ranks 3rd in the American League and thrown first pitch strikes, 66.7%. Fastball's not overpowering, though. That's what the hitters are going to look for. It's right over the middle of the plate sometimes, and it's hittable, but you know, it's got to be able to command that heater. Do the best he can to keep it on the corners and down.
After Span singled in the first inning last night, C.J. Cron hit a long home run to straightaway center field, his 9th, and extended his hitting streak to 8 games. Slider in for strike 1.
He's on his way to a career year as far as home runs go. His career high 16. So he should be able to reach that with no problem. Stay healthy. Got a good swing. Not afraid to go to the opposite field. Has center field power. We saw that last night, but big pull power.
And now he's drilled, and the Rays have 2 on with nobody out.
Fifth time he's been hit by a pitch this year. Just got away from him.
And the first time Hammel has hit anybody this year.
Pitch inside a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you're going to clip a guy, but that's important to keep him leaning back a little bit. Can't let him get too comfortable in there.
And now Joey Wendell, who had the game-winning hit last night. He did not play on Monday night, and then as a .280 hitter with 1 home run and hitting with 167 with runners in scoring position. He was the Rays' number 3 hitter last night, and he ended up delivering the go-ahead hit in the 9th inning against Kelvin Herrera. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Hammel's a fly ball pitcher. He has induced 2 ground ball double plays this season.
That'd be a nice thing for him here. Rays and Royals do ground into a lot of double plays.
Last year, even though Jason Hammel's ERA was over 5, he really did a good job of pitching with runners in scoring position. The bottom line there, 226, that was among the league leaders. Now that's up quite a bit this year, but that top line would suggest that it's been a lot of lucky hits. Only 4.4% have been line drives. And Wendell didn't get a very good swing, so Hammel could use a strikeout there, and he got it. So 2 on, 1 out. Wilson Ramos takes on Jason Hammel today by AARP. 12 at bats, 4 hits. Half of those have been home runs. He's a couple games removed from an 18-game hitting streak, which is the longest in the major leagues this year, and one shy of a Tampa Bay Rays record. A little high for ball 1.
Put him in the lane. Keep that ball down. He leads the Rays in grounding into 9 double plays. So that's this guy you want to keep the ball down on, breaking balls if possible. 1 pitch, 2 outs. Save the pitch count. Get out of the inning. And because he's got power, don't elevate.
There's a base hit into left field. Span had to make sure it was going to get through, so he'll just move up 90 feet. So no bad luck there. That ball was hit hard by Ramos, and they're loaded up with 1 out.
Slider, but it's out over, and it stayed up just under the belt, middle of the plate. Almost is able to stay behind it. Pull it.
So a single, a hit batter, and then a 1-out single, and now Brad Miller. Outside for ball 1.
Miller's a pull hitter. That's where he hits for his power.
Two and 0.
He's got to keep it away from him if he can.
Two and 1 on Miller.
That's where you want to keep it on him. If he tries to pull that outside pitch, sometimes he hit it on the ground.
And there's the ground ball. Witt saves 1 run. Span comes down from third, but that ball gets into right field. Crone may have a chance to score as well with 2 outs. So Miller gets an RBI, and Tampa Bay leads 1-0.
Trying to pull. He hits it firmly. Whitley 4 or 5 steps to his left. Able to make that play with no problem. Nice play.
And now Adene Echeverria. Fastball in for strike 1. He has 3 hits in the first 2 games of the series with an RBI. And a base hit to right field. So Crone scores. Here comes Ramos. The throw is late. And now Jason Hammel, in a 3rd consecutive start, has given up 3 runs in the first inning.
Maybe a key could have been to get through the first inning with no runs given up. But look, these are pitches that are elevated, and this is a tough offensive team. They're not going to hit you for power, but they're going to beat you with the singles and doubles. Obviously, we've been talking about that the entire series. They're 260 with runners in scoring position. That's a high mark. And Echeverria 296 with a runner in scoring position. You can't give them anything up hittable like that. That's what they're going to do.
0-1 on Malix Smith.
Good two-seam fastball there. Had some movement.
Dozier plays it inside the line. Hitting over. Tampa Bay comes up with 3 runs on 3 hits. A hit batter came around to score. The Rays get 3 in the first inning. Hideni Echeverria drives in 2. Here's the Royals lineup against right-hander Jake Faria. Jorge Soler's back in there. He'll be the designated hitter with that sore rib. Whit Merrifield, who's been leading off against lefties. Ned Yost has been batting in 5th against the righties. And Alcides Escobar, who batted 5th last night, slides back down to number 8. And here is 24-year-old right-hander Jake Faria.
5.09 ERA. He can find some in the middle of the plate. Not going to overpower you. Fastball, changeup, slider, curve. Changeup is kind of a split finger type changeup. Is a pitch he likes to get left-handers out with.
Strike on John Jay, who's done well in the month of May. He has an 8-game hitting streak. He has 22 hits this month, which is the second most in the league. And he's hitting .373 in May, which is the 3rd best in the league.
Having a good month. Keep it up. Get on base and start pressuring the Tampa Bay defense here. Faria, he can, you know, if you can get him early, put a little doubt in his mind. Typically he's been pretty good first few times through the order, but here you go. Defensively, the Rays are going to play with Denard Span in left field. Malix Smith, a speedy center fielder, he can go get him. They got Johnny Field in right. Brad Miller's at first base again. Wendell second. Echeverria shortstop. Robinson third. Ramos catching.
Jorge Soler started on Monday night. He did not play last night because of a displaced rib. Literally had a rib out of joint, which was adjusted by the Royals team chiropractor yesterday, and he felt much better. Yeah, Yost elected not to use him as a pinch hitter last night because he still had some soreness, but healthy enough to be back in there today. 1 ball, 1 strike.
No, it's good to have him. He sure does add a presence to the top of that order. Power guy in that spot, especially Jay gets on. Been doing a good job of that leadoff spot.
Two balls, 1 strike.
We talked about that rib issue that he had, that you've had it before, and kind of popped it back in. Obviously, there's no pain, or he probably wouldn't be in there. I mean, swinging, you know, as much torque that goes on with a batter in his upper half. Must feel pretty good.
3-1. Well, he took some batting practice in the cage area yesterday, and hopefully that rib will stay in joint if he cuts it loose at game speed.
3-1, good time to cut it loose.
Three and 2. Soler is 5th in the league in on base percentage, 10th in batting average, among the league leaders in pitches seen per plate appearance. And he's on a heck of a pace this year with 3 and 2 counts. High and deep left center field. And it's going to be caught by Denard Span. There is a breeze blowing in from left. And John Jay is out at second base. Don't know if he got him on the initial tag or if he overslid second base. John isn't going anywhere. He thinks he was safe. The call was made by second base umpire Rob Drake.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he hopes that he doesn't have to go anywhere, because when you're down 3 runs, you got to be 100% sure. And the play is right in front of him. Now, the first swipe, you didn't missed him, but I think he was might have gotten his hand in there. We'll see. I think he's out, and that's unfortunate. You got your power guys coming up, and Moustakas and Perez. You got to be 100% sure when you advance on that one.
So 7-4 on the double play, and 2 down to Mike Moustakas.
That'll be Denard Span's second outfield assist.
That ball almost spun back into fair territory. Moustakas recognized the spin, and then Robertson, the third baseman, realized he better get on it, or had a chance to come back into fair territory before getting to third. Mike Moustakas against right-handers, the subject of our Kubota Power Stats, and these are his hot zones against righties. He has hit 9 of his 10 home runs against right-hand pitching. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's been awfully aggressive, but that's a typical hot spot for a lot of left-handers, down and in. Easy place to turn on the ball. 2 strikes now. Interesting. Look at the Rays. They've moved some guys over to that left side of the infield.
That's dropped. There was miscommunication between Smith and Span. And it looked like Smith had it the whole way and was calling for it, and then at the last moment backed off.
It's all about communication. Center fielder has priority over both corner outfielders. He's got to take command there. And Span looked like he backed off. Looked like Smith just you know, he's saying, I got it. Well, then go ahead and take it. And I'm not sure if Span said anything, but it doesn't matter. You're a center fielder. You take charge. That's your ball all the way. If you want it, he's calling it.
So it's an error on Smith, and Salvador Perez comes up. I'm going to place some of that blame on Denard Span. He needs to get out of the way. You got a young center fielder out there who's dealing with a former center fielder out there. And we saw this happen on the road trip where there was a fly ball and one outfielder called for it and the other one just stood there. It's a lot less distracting if Span gives way to Smith to just clear the area. But he just kind of stood there.
Yeah, well, you know, that's taken care of lots of times before the game even starts. That's when you get together, if you're Smith and you're Span and the other outfielder, say, hey, look, you know what? I'm aggressive. I have good speed. I want every ball out there. So if you let them know ahead of time before the game even starts, then there's no question at all. But I see where you're coming from. It is easier to peel off.
I mean, if you're calling for the ball, you want to know that the guys around you have heard you and they're going to give you room to make the play. And can't blame Smith if he still saw Span in the corner of his eye. I mean, he's standing right there.
Hopefully the Royals can capitalize.
And Faria gets Salvi to chase one down and out of the strike zone. So Faria works around the air. And at the end of one, Tampa Bay leads 3-0.
Stadium as both managers dealing with short benches. On the Tampa Bay side, they lost 2 players last night to injury. Joel Goldberg down by the Royals dugout, but as for Kevin Cash, Carlos Gomez left the game last night. He has gone on the disabled list, and Christian Arroyo, who was acquired in the trade for Evan Longoria, made his debut with the Giants last year. Not sure yet whether he is here. Before the game, I was told that he was en route. They were hoping that he would be here at some point. Matt Duffy also left the game with an injury last night. He is listed as available. Whether that happens or not, we'll see. He has a bit of an injury past, so they do like to be careful with him. And then Ryan talked about the Royals injuries. I talked this morning with Jorge Soler. He said that he feels 100%. Love that Alcides Escobar, who always rebounds from injuries, chimed in that Jorge Soler is the Hulk. So he rebounded real quickly. And then Chesler Cuthbert is available for defense, but with those back spasms, not ready to hit yet.
All right, Joel, thank you. 2-1 from Hamill to Robertson, who's playing at third in place of Matt Duffy, one of the injuries Joel covered. Duffy's already been on the disabled list with a hamstring problem, and that's what took him out early last night. Right to John Jay in right field. Robertson is out, number 1.
Fans, as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in today's game.
Johnny Field with 1 out and nobody on. He got on last night against Herrera to start the 9th inning and then ended up scoring the go-ahead run. And that was his only at bat last night. He was 1 for 3 on Monday.
He's aggressive. I like him. He's got good speed. Looks like he's up on the plate, crowd trying to put the ball in play. Not trying to do too much. He knows that the only way he can get into his game is if he gets on base.
Alex is trying to turn away from the glare. And he gets Field for the 2nd out. So 2 up, 2 down for Hamill, who gave up 3 in the 1st inning for a 3rd consecutive start. Miller drove in 1, Echeverria drove in 2, and it all started with a base hit to right field by Denard Span. And now he comes up with 2 down. Hit hard and right to Witt.
There's some early countouts.
Is batting 5th in the lineup, but he will lead off, as he often does, here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And if he or another Royal hits a triple today, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. Witt has 5 hits in the first 2 games of the series, including a home run, 4 RBIs, and he's in the middle of a 9-game hitting streak.
I like how the fact that he's a line-to-line type hitter. And he uses the whole field. The defenses play him straight up.
Field brings it down and right. Jake Faria. He's out of the Rays system, a 10th round pick in 2011. Coincidentally, Jason Hamill, who's starting for the Royals today, was a 10th round pick of the Rays, but that was 16 years ago. Out of La Palma, California. He got to the big leagues for the first time last year. And as we've been talking about this entire series, Pitcher who was influenced in the minor leagues quite a bit by former Royal Kyle Snyder, who's now the Rays pitching coach. First year at the big league level. There's Kyle.
Yep, Faria was growing up in Southern California, was an Angels fan. I had a chance to talk to him yesterday. And I said, well, who was your favorite players growing up? And he said he loved watching Vladimir Guerrero hit. Jared Weaver was one of his favorite pitchers because he went to Long Beach State. And I said, well, who's your all-time favorite pitcher? Who do you like to watch? He mentioned John Lester and John Lackey. I said, why? He said the toughness that they show. The fact that Lester's been a world champion but battled cancer, and how John Lackey refused to back down, so those are some of the. Max Scherzer was another guy he mentioned. Those are some guys that are tough guys.
He has walked 2 as Alex reaches with 1 out. And at 24 years old, he continues that impressive streak for the Rays. This is start number 601 in a row, going back to July of 2014, where the Rays have only used a starting pitcher age 30 or younger. Longest current streak in the major leagues. Eric Bedard was the last pitcher older than 30. Pitch for the Rays. That was 4 seasons ago. Hunter Dozier last night had his first major league multi-hit game. He had 2 hits and he scored twice. So he's 2 for 7 since being called up. Checked his swing, and it's 0-2. Just nicked it foul.
Now, I'm not afraid to use that split changeup to righties or lefties. Maybe that's his go-to pitch against left-handers, but there it was there. 0-2, he's ahead. Got a chance to toy with it. Dozier. See if he can get him to swing out of the zone.
One ball, 2 strikes. And like a lot of young pitchers, there's going to be some signs of how good they can be someday and some signs of youth. He's had 5 starts where his collective ERA is just over 1. And then he has 3 starts where the collective ERA is over 14. As he continues to navigate his way through the big leagues.
Yep. Sometimes the young ones will show some signs of inconsistencies. But I asked him, who does he compare himself with? Got a comparable? Good eye there by Dozier. He said, yeah, Jake Odorizzi, Alex Cobb, a couple of former Rays. I said, so because he has a very simple delivery, doesn't look like it's very difficult, doesn't have a lot of moving parts. And he has respect for those 2 former Rays.
Dozier is his 2nd strikeout victim. 2 down.
Friday nights are best spent at the K with Buck Night and summer fireworks. Come out every Friday home game during the summer and enjoy hot dogs and peanuts for just $1. Stay after the game for a fireworks spectacular right from your seats. Join us Friday when the Royals host the Yankees at 7:15. Tickets available now at Royals.com.
Alcides Escobar with Gordon at first base, 2 down. Over the inside, strike 1. His on base percentage is a little over 300 for the season, but over the past week, 400. And even with the Royals record being what it is, there are several Royals who are much better off now than they were a year ago. Our key a drive to success. Alex Gordon has the biggest average increase. Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar. Jorge Soler wasn't an everyday player for the Royals last year, but even so, he's 173 points higher now than he was a year ago. Had him reaching. And Span backs up in left and makes the play. 2 in the books. The Rays lead the Royals 3-0.
Because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
3-0 Rays, getting all 3 in the first inning. Miller drove in a run, Echeverria 2. And then Jason Hamill set down the Rays in order in the second. C.J. Cron was hit by a pitch and he scored one of the 3 runs. He'll be followed by Joey Wendell and Wilson Ramos. 2-0 on Cron.
Man, beautiful day at the K here today. Not too hot, not a lot of humidity. Great day to watch a ball game. Slight breeze blowing from the left field foul pole to the right. Uh-oh.
That is a wind cutter, and it's to the back of the Tampa Bay bullpen, and C.J. Cron has his 10th home run of the season and his 2nd of this series.
(2-0) sitting dead red. 10th homer. Talked about him. He's going to reach his career high in homers, no problem at all. Maybe before the All-Star break if he keeps on that. Now it was a breaking ball, 82, but it's in the middle. He's able to wait. He wasn't trying to, jump out there. He didn't pull it foul. Caught it just perfectly.
Ball 1 on Joey Wendell. He struck out swinging in the first inning. So Cronus hit in 9 straight, and now he's reached base in 22 consecutive games. 1-1 on Wendell. Two and one on Wendell. We saw him last year with the A's. He was a September call-up. Actually, September call-up the last 2 years with Oakland. Came up in the Indians organization and was traded to the A's for Brandon Moss. And then traded to Tampa Bay this past offseason. Taking a shot at left field, and he fouls it away. Fits what the Rays want to do this year on offense.
Exactly. He's going to talk about it. You know, he just uses the whole field, line to line, level swing, put the ball in play, runs pretty well. Like to think he can hit for a high average.
Shallow right. Witt is looking into the glare and makes the play in front of John Jay. Don't miss out on the no fees sale. It's happening online right now. From now until 10 a.m. Friday, single game tickets purchased online only will have no fees added. For a bonus, 20% off your single game tickets purchased through the Ballpark app. Check out the tickets available with this deal. Head to Royals.com/tickets. Wilson Ramos singled and scored in the Rays' 3-run first inning. And that's hard hit in between Moustakas and Escobar.
Yeah, and a couple days ago before this series started, I talked with Mike Jershely, the infield instructor in charge of the infielders, and said, you know, this team's spray hitting team, you know, they don't hit for a lot of power. He said, well, we're going to only overshift on 2 guys. And he didn't tell me who it was, but we could figure it out. It was going to be Cron and Ramos. And he's been right in all 3 games. It's the only time they overshift is those 2 right-handed power bats.
Now Miller hits it in the air to center field. Ramos is halfway as Almonte makes the play. Miller's 0 for 2. He did drive in a run with a ground out in the first inning. So Ramos is at first. For Echeverria, he drove in 2 in the 3-run first inning.
Having a nice series. Wearing the right side out.
Low for ball 1. Right to Escobar, who gets a nice big hop over to Merrifield, and that's the inning. Cron homers for the 2nd time in the series, and the Rays lead 4-0. City VA volunteer. Over the past 8 years, he has served more than 2,000 hours as a hospital volunteer. He served in the Navy from 1968 to 1972 as a boiler technician, 3rd class. Also served aboard the USS, oh boy, I'm going to mispronounce this one, Cacapon, and refueled ships in the Tonkin Gulf. His wife Linda has also volunteered over 350 hours at the Kansas City VA. Not up to date with all of my naval vessels.
It's all right, but Alvin, thank you for what you do for others.
CACAPON. Almonte pulls it to the right side. Joey Wendell throws him out. And the Royals are without a hit, first time through the order against Jake Faria. He has walked 2, and the Royals also have a runner on an error by the center fielder Smith. So he's moving right along with a 4-0 lead. He walked John Jay to lead off the first inning. And now upstairs for ball 1.
Been starting everybody off with fastballs. Notice that to the right-handers he's using sliders and changeups, and mainly fastballs, changeups to lefties. But with a nice 4-run lead, he's going to go out and try to get ahead of hitters with his fastball. It's typical. So you try to bust him. He comes inside of that area.
Ramos tried to pull it down into the strike zone. And John Jay goes the other way for the Royals' first hit. And now he has hit safely in 9 in a row.
Nicely done. That's a ball right down the middle of the plate. Stays inside as good as any Royals hitter inside of that baseball. Great head position, staying down through it. He's got himself a walk and a knock already today.
Dave Holtzman looked it up. It's the USS Cacapon.
Thank you,
Thanks, Holtzy. And then Holtzy crosses his fingers in front of me. Inside on Soler, he flied out to deep left field, deep enough where John Jay thought he could tag and go to second. And to Denard Span's credit in left, he didn't take anything for granted and made a good throw to the second baseman Wendell, who applied the tag for a double play. One and one on Soler. So we're wondering if he takes a big swing, is he going to be affected by that displaced rib? Well, the rib wasn't the result of a swing. It was an awkward catch that he made in right field on Monday. That was a big rip. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Right side wide open, and Soler doesn't care. He gets him something middle in and get 2 runs closer with 1 swing.
And that's where the majority of his hits have been this year. Almost half of his 42 hits have gone to left field. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Looks like he's trying to stay in on him. Pitchers, they either work him hard in or soft away way off the plate. Get him to chase. And you take your chances. Pitchers aren't perfect. They make mistakes.
And now Soler is hit on the hand.
Obviously, Faria trying to get him out inside, staying in there with all of his pitches. This one here.
Got him on the arm.
Yep, just kind of got him. Clipped him. Nothing solid.
And now Kyle Snyder's going to go out and have a chat with Faria. So the Royals have had 5 base runners in the first 3 innings and only 1 hit. Faria has walked 2. He's hit a batter. And the Royals have had a runner with an error.
Students, join us at the K every Wednesday home game for only $10 with your student ID. Plus, enjoy a happy hour special at Boulevard Grill concession stand as you listen to live local music on the Outfield Experience stage before the game. Come check out our next local band, Instant Karma. Next Wednesday, visit Royals.com/student night for the full list of bands and for tickets.
Mike Moustakas reached on an error by the center fielder Smith in the first inning. Moustakas hit a ball into left center. Smith was calling for it, and then at the last moment, Denard Span coming over from left gave way, but never really cleared the area, which seemed to distract Smith, and he dropped it. In the dirt, stopped by Ramos. You're looking for a vulnerability of Jake Faria. He's had a tough time throwing strikes to left-hand batters. 15 of his 19 walks and one of the lowest percentage of strikes to left-hand batters this year. And Moustakas jumped on a 1-0 fastball and fouled it back.
That's the one he wanted. 92 right down the middle of the plate. And I got a feeling that pitching coach Kyle Snyder came out to talk to him before Moose, and he's saying, okay, man, look, we got you a 4-run lead here. Don't let these guys back in the game by making any mistakes. Keep it on the corners and away from Moose. And there it was, one right down the middle of the plate. See the split finger changeup, what it looks like.
Backing out of play.
Left that up.
His is a very unique split change, also known as a Foch or a Vulcan split.
Yep. And man, that's the one. So Moose has got a fastball there, and then he's gotten that split change.
Two balls, 2 strikes. John Jay's at second base. Jorge Soler's at first. Three and 2. There's Joe Nelson. Maybe you remember Nelly pitching for the Royals, and for a short period of time was a closer. Now he's a scout. He used to throw the Vulcan split. The ball is actually wedged in between the middle and ring finger, called the Vulcan split. That's like the Vulcan sign that Dr. Spock used to make on Star Trek.
Yeah, but you know what? Just wonder though, how can they control that? I mean, it's hard just when you have a regular grip on the ball, let alone you don't even have your fingers on it. It's amazing.
Joe Nelson is scouting for the Cubs. Still 3-2 on Moustakas. Faria, by the way, is in no hurry in between pitches.
Yeah, talk about tempo. He's taking his time.
Ramos gives it a look, but it's back in the crown seats.
Yeah, and Moose has had a good plate appearance so far. He's gotten some good pitches to hit. He's missed them, and now he's waiting him out. Doesn't necessarily want to have to pull him because there's a lot of space, you know, over here on the sides there, and Moose knows that. He's not afraid to go that way. But with Faria's ability to throw that changeup and slow stuff away and this fastball away, don't want to necessarily try to pull it. Go with it. Let's get your team on the board here.
He'll take a walk. So an opportunity here with the Royals down 4-0. Salvador Perez comes up with the bases loaded and 1 out. And that is Faria's 3rd walk today.
Salvador Perez definitely would like to give his pitcher Hamill a shot in the arm here with some runs. By waiting on it, thinking up the middle. Don't try to be too pull happy, because we know what happens when you try to pull an off-speed pitcher or a slider away. It'll ground ball. Don't want to do that. Think middle away.
And a ground ball right to Hechavarria. Royals ground into a double play. And that is number 47 for the Royals to lead the major leagues. Defending champion Justin Thomas and more of golf's greatest players will be in St. Louis in fewer than 100 days. Tickets for Monday's opening day through Thursday's opening round are still available, but going fast. So visit PGAchampionship.com for tickets. 4-0 Rays, and Jake Faria just got out of the bases loaded and 1 out. Getting Salvador Perez to ground into a double play. Man, double play has been a killer for the Royals this year. They've grounded into 47, which leads the major leagues. Bunted. Hamill Knew he had to hurry with Smith's speed, and in his haste didn't pick the ball up off the grass, and Smith has a bunt single, and I think it would have been close even if he did pick it up.
Yep, you got to be perfect if you're fielding a ball off a guy like this, and that's all it takes, one slight bobble, and that's what you do. You pressure defenses with that kind of speed. Third bunt hit of the year for Smith.
Now Daniel Robertson. Hamill had him out in front. Robertson flied out to right field in the second inning.
"14-foot lead. That's as big as we've seen.
And with that, Salvi throws down to first, and Smith back in time.
On his back. He's ripped off 4 this year. He's been caught 3 times. Man, when you get in an awkward position like that, you got to make sure you keep your hand on that bag. You can see Dozier keeping his glove and the tag on him until he calls time. Excuse me. Smith has 9 steals. He's been caught 4 times.
Hamill feels like he's going to take off, so he's going to try and wear down Smith as best he can with a few throws over there.
Got a 15-foot lead here. He's feeling more comfortable.
There he goes, and it's grounded foul. Holtze wrote a name down on his whiteboard. Juan Pierre. He does look like Juan Pierre. The way he's got his pants bloused. Former world champion with the Marlins, and then we saw him for a while when he played with the White Sox. Juan Pierre had 614 career stolen bases.
Wow. Heck of a career.
Not running. And it's fouled away. Robertson's another player that the Rays got from Oakland. He was a first-round pick of the A's. And he was traded for Ben Zobrist. That's how Ben Zobrist went to the A's. And then eventually made his way to KC.
You see Dozier, you see he's playing off of the base like that. His foot's not on the bag, so it's really makes it hard for him to reach around for a tag. And he plays there for a reason. They like for him to be able to have some ability to come off the base and also sometimes be a distraction to the runner. You can see Mitch Meyer in back of him here. He's kind of helping him a little bit here, but you know, by the time he carries that ball, catches it, it's just too late. It's hard for him, the right-hander, to make a tag.
Three and two. Well, you can tell he really has Hamill. Really divided Hamill's attention here. Not running, and that ball is going to come back fair. So Smith goes up to second base, and Robertson is out 3 unassisted.
Those squibers off the end of the bat. If you're a hitter, you can never give up on those. It's because they start foul, but watch this one. It's a good example here. This starts way foul. Robertson, he saw it, and he knew how he hit it. That little cue ball. Field sees that big hole over there on the right side. Whitley holding Smith close at second base. That opens it up.
That is jolted deep to left field. Smith goes back to tag as Alex makes the catch. And Smith is into third on a fly ball by Johnny Field. That's the second time Field has flied out to Alex Gordon. So runner at third, 2 down.
Yeah, Field was looking to drive. Forget about that right side there.
And that'll bring up Denard Span. He singled and scored in the first inning and then lined out in the second. A .252 hitter overall, but you put a runner in scoring position and he becomes a .371 hitter.
Oh man, that's getting the job done.
Smith is back in time. Drilled to right field. The wind will push it some, but John Jay makes a play on the warning track. So Hamill gets around the bunt single to the bottom of the fourth. Tampa Bay leads 4-0. Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Four nothing Rays. They scored 3 in the first inning. The Royals have had 6 base runners in the first 3 innings. But the big item so far today was Jake Faria getting Salvador Perez to ground into a double play with 1 out and the bases loaded in the third. It'll be Merrifield, Gordon, and Dozier in the 4th inning. Two 2-0. And now Witt takes advantage of a wide open right side. That stretches his hitting streak to 10 games.
Yep, he's got a lock for that right side. That base hit last night late. This Mo Lottery replay shows you he'd lift that one right off the ground. Nice thinking.
Third time in his career he's had a hitting streak of 10 or more games.
A couple guys on the beam, him and John Jay.
And that'll skip by Ramos and get Merrifield to second base on a wild pitch.
Look at him. That's another pitch way off the mark. And right now you talked about him, how he has a hard time throwing strikes to lefties. Now he's got 3 walks to left-handed batters today against the Royals. He's starting it out again here too. Not coming in. Seems like he's a little leery of the left-handed bats.
Two and 0. And now 3 balls, no strikes with Dozier on deck. Right around an average of 20 pitches per inning for Faria, so he's only given up 2 hits and no runs, but he's thrown a lot of pitches. 3-1 on Alex.
And you mentioned his tempo. He's really not thinking too much about his defense sitting out there. He's taking his time. Alex says, I'll take another one of those. 89, 91. Those in the middle of the plate are good hit.
Into the left field corner and foul. He has thrown more pitches out of the strike zone than in the strike zone against left-hand batters today, and that was something we talked about early in the game.
Yep.
Struggles throwing strikes to lefties. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. And as a defender behind him, I mean, you really have to stay focused. It takes a lot of time in between pitches.
Better believe that's right.
Alex walks, and that's 4 allowed by Faria. None have come back to haunt him yet. The Royals have 2 on and nobody out.
At some point, offense has got to come through and make you pay for the free passes.
And he's not typically a pitcher that walks a lot of hitters. He only had 3 total in his previous 3 starts, and now 4 in 3+ innings today, and a hit batter. So that's 5 free runners, and then remember the error. So the Royals have had 6 free base runners in 4 innings. Dozier fouls it away. Faria struck him out swinging in the second inning. Dozier hits it to right. Field is backing up, so that'll allow Merrifield to go to third. And now runners to the corners with one away. Fox Sports Kansas City is proud to support the Kansas City Sports Commission Awards Banquet. This year's event takes place on Thursday, June 7th. And honors include local sports women of the year, the University of Central Missouri women's soccer and basketball national championship teams. For sponsorship and ticket information, go to sportkc.org. Royals have grounded into one double play today. They have hit into two. One was a fly ball double play. And Faria, everybody wants a balk, but he followed through with his pitching motion, and even though the ball didn't reach the dirt, it's a legal pitch.
Yeah, they one-hopped it. It looked like let's see if it was good enough to call a ball or a strike. His foot fell short of his mark, but he kept going. If he doesn't let go of the ball, then the runner's going to score, and Gordon advances to second base. All you can do is laugh at that one.
Escobar has a wide open right side of the infield and taking a shot in that area. 1 ball, 1 strike. He flied out to left in the second inning.
Exactly what he tried to do there. Hit that hole.
Two balls, 1 strike. I was chatting with Witt about the shifts before the game today, and he said he's starting to notice the better hitters. He can tell, since he plays the middle of the infield, he can really get a good eye on what the hitters are trying to do. More and more hitters now are trying to go against the shift and see guys adjusting their approach and adjusting their swings. And again, Escobar was taking a shot at right.
Seemed like when the mentality of the hitter when they first started doing that was, I'll hit it through him, I'll hit it by him. You can't change. They took the Ted Williams approach, but they're not Ted Williams.
And teams are getting more and more bold with the shifts. And at first it was a shift, then it was an overshift, and then it was basically giving the hitter a whole side of the infield. And there comes a point where the hitter says, well, I'll take it. And Escobar takes a shot at right field. Field gets behind it. He'll play it to second base. So Esky drives in Merrifield, and the Royals have their first run. Escobar's first run driven in the series.
That split finger changeup, if it's elevated, it's a ball you can handle, and Escobar did. It came right back over the middle of the plate. Didn't try to pull it, so he didn't roll his hand over, and that's a good thing, because stay away from that double play by keeping your bottom hand inside of the baseball. Shot it to right, got him on the board. Good thinking there.
Strike on Almonte. He is grounded out to second base. Ramos snap throw to first, and Miller had to pull it out of the dirt.
Alex being aggressive out there. He's saying, you know what? I'm ready to move on contact. Got back with no trouble, but Miller picked that ball, would have allowed Alex to end up on third base if he'd have missed it. But there's 2 outs.
He did not go around, according to Sean Barber down at third. Two and two. And now they go to work in the Rays bullpen. Right-hander Chaz Rowe. So far, Faria has not allowed an unearned run this year, and a lot of time guys who work slow end up giving up unearned runs. The defense is not always alert. They can easily fall back on their heels in between pitches. Their mind will drift. They're just waiting for the pitcher to make the next pitch, and it's no coincidence that a lot of the pitchers that have a quick tempo get the best defense. Miller couldn't find it for a moment, but he'll go to the bag and get Almonte. So Merrifield opens the inning with a single. Escobar gets him home with a sac fly. It is now 4-1 at the end of 4. Little guys enjoying one of his first Royals games. They're in the shade on a warm day at Kauffman Stadium, and now the sun is starting to break through the overcast. C.J. Cron has homered twice in this series. Those are the only 2 Tampa Bay home runs. He has scored twice today. And one hop to Escobar. He backs up for a big hop, and that makes a long throw, and Cron is safe.
How about that kind of speed for a big man? Esky had to lay back on it, that or go pick the short hop. And he laid back on it, got his feet underneath him. Escobar did, and by the time he was able to unload, Cron was there. Good hustle. Earning that infield knock.
That'll ring up Joey Wendell. He is 0 for 2. The Rays got 3 in the first inning. Miller drove in a run. Echeverria 2. Crone homered with nobody on in the third. And the Royals just got their run in the bottom of the fourth. Escobar had a sacrifice fly. Crone is running, and the Rays execute a hit and run. And Crone will go first to third.
Typically with a left-handed batter, runner on first base, the shortstop is going to cover on the steal when the runner takes off. Okay, there he goes. Escobar leaves the hole open, and young hitter Wendell, he understands that. He aimed for that, got him a pitch there and hit it. That's just how you want to do it. You'd like to pull it to right field, but if there's a hole on the left side, the whole purpose is to get that runner at first to third. Ramos has pulled 2 singles to left field.
He pulls this one, and the Royals get 2. The Rays get a run.
Ramos won't get an RBI on it, but the Rays team gets another run, get that run back.
So good execution to get the runner over to third base. And now Miller, he is 0 for 2 with an RBI. Coming into today, the Rays had the 3rd highest team batting average in the American League. And you can look directly at batting average for balls in play. Interesting breakdown of their numbers. That average comes from eliminating home runs, strikeouts, and adding sacrifice flies. So when they put the ball in play, they're hitting .321, which is 2nd in the major leagues, but they're not always hitting the ball hard when you look at the other 2 categories. So 3rd in the majors in that first category, but when you're talking about line drives, 12th in the major leagues. When you're talking about hard hit, 22nd in the major leagues. And that base hit by Wendell was an example of that, just finding holes, not necessarily hitting the ball hard, but as Willie Keeler used to say, hit them where they ain't. John Jay in front of the fence brings it down for the out.
That's the name of the game. No matter how hard you hit them, are you getting knocks?
Stephen Piscotty was traded from St. Louis to Oakland so that he could be with his mom as she was battling ALS. She passed away. He had 4 games that he missed on the bereavement list. His first at bat back, he homers. You see him touching his chest just the way he says that his mom used to. He said he'll do that now from now on. I talked to John Jay about Piscotty today. They were teammates in St. Louis. Jay said that he saw that last night. He couldn't have been happier for the moment, the emotion, the home run. He called Steven a great person, a great teammate. And Piscotty afterwards just said that he started thinking about his mom as he rounded third base. He called it pure joy. He said he knew that his family was watching, and he knew that his mother was watching too.
Hey, Joel, by the way, that was really a nice chat you had with Vahe Gregorian. That's a fair ball inside the left field line, off the side wall. Span played it well, but John is in with a double, and he's on for the third time today. Vahe Gregorian of the Kansas City Star, who was just one of the true gentlemen in our business. And that was really nice to hear the two of you chat. And there he is, working up in the press box, working on a column. And he just lost his mom to ALS.
Yeah. And, you know, I think we all can attest to this. I've been fortunate enough to know Vahe for about 20 years. He just has a way, whether this was about his experiences or whatever it might be in baseball, talking about Robinson Cano, talking about Danny Duffy and fighting through things right now. He just always has a way, and maybe sometimes we all lack this a little bit, of just having a real perspective. And that's why I like to have him on from time to time, because he just has a way of sometimes getting away from all the X's and O's, not that he can't do that, and just putting things into more of a real life perspective.
You got that right. 1-1 on Jorge Soler.
That's a cool shirt.
Oh man, he had a good rip.
Sure did. Very controlled. Wasn't out of control. He develops a lot of bat speed right over the plate. That's where you want it, and that's belt high. Man. Keeps both hands on the bat too. Sometimes that'll control your swing. Keep your lower half from flying out. Out on the follow through.
Two and two. He is on pace to have the most 3-2 counts in a single season in Royals history. Fair ball. Another double for Soler. He drives in John Jay, and now it's 5-2.
Team leading 13th. Nicely done. Been able to keep that bat in the hitting zone long enough, and enough bottom hand to where his top hand didn't dominate and hook it by the bag. Good job of keeping the lower hand, bottom hand. Now see, it rolled. He rolled him, but that was after contact. Nice job. 110 exit velo, good front foot control on the swing. Another well hit ball.
Mike Moustakas with a runner at second, nobody out, and he shoots it up the left field side. He has had a couple of free bases today. Reached on an error in the first inning on a fly ball to center field, and then walked in the third. They're working again in the Rays bullpen, and Faria has had some trouble third time through the order. And so far the Royals are 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles third time through the order. 198 combined first and second time through, and then it spikes up to 360, and that was before today, so it's even higher than that now with the two doubles.
Interesting how sometimes the numbers tell the truth.
Jorge Soler literally stole second base. He caught everybody off guard. By the time Faria had any idea that Soler was running, he was about 2/3 of the way to third base.
That's right. Check it out. And he's keeping his eye on the pitcher. And see, Faria is so focused on the hitter right now, and of course another left-handed batter. He's walked 4 of them today, so he's obviously the left-handed hitter has his attention. Why not? Nobody out. Take the base.
And now Moustakas cranks it into right center field. Smith is on the move, and he's got it. Soler comes down from third. It's a 2-run game. And the wind really helped out the Rays there. I don't think that was a home run ball, but the wind just kind of held that ball up long enough for Smith to get underneath it.
Long run he had. Now we'll see if he cradles it in or whoo-hoo. That's a good thing that other hand was there, because we know that the heel's a tough spot to catch a ball. It bounces out, but he was able to keep that right hand in there and secure the catch. Cash has seen enough.
Chevy called to the bullpen. It's Chaz Rowe, a right-hander, to face Salvador Perez. Faria, one point had a 4-0 lead, 5-1 lead, but now he comes out before the 5th inning is over. Here's his Pizza Ranch pitching line. 4 walks, 89 pitches in 4 1/3. And he gives way to Chaz Rowe, who appears in this series for a 2nd time. Ball 1 inside on Salvador Perez.
Got a nice sinking fastball, does Chaz. ERA not too bad, 4.80. I mean, I'd like to get that down some, but 31 years old, 90-95 sink. He's got some good sink and an excellent slider.
Salvi hits it deep to right field, and Field to the track is there. Salvi is 0 for 3. Take a look at our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. And Minnesota Twins are going to be without Jason Castro for the rest of the season with a torn right knee. He's going to have surgery. Minnesota at the moment is a half game back of Cleveland in our division. Every team was under 500 going into today, but now Cleveland has shut out Detroit behind Trevor Bauer, so Cleveland is at 20-21. Minnesota, meanwhile, is losing at home to the Cardinals 4-3 in the 7th inning. One and one on Whit Merrifield. Whit has a 10-game hitting streak after reaching with a single in the 4th inning and scoring the Royals' first run. 1-2.
Excellent slider. Chaz Rowe at 6'5", 200. Very tall and long, and uses that for leverage. Downhill angle.
All the way back to the signage board. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Chaz Daniel Rowe. So Chaz is his given name. It's not a nickname. Hard slider strikes him out to end the inning. The Royals open the inning with back-to-back doubles. Both come around to score. John Jay on Soler's double, and then Soler comes home on a sac fly. It is now 5-3. Rays leading to the top of the 6th inning. Join us in honoring the man responsible for recording the first hit in Royals history, Lou Piniella. Come to Kauffman Stadium Sunday for your own Lou Piniella vintage jersey presented by Papa John's. That's to the first 15,000 fans through the gates. That's the Royals and the Yankees. There will be a special on-field presentation with Lou Piniella, so get here early for that 1:15 game, and you can get your tickets at Royals.com. Merrifield takes care of Echeverria. He is 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs, and that leads us into our sprint trivia question. Who recorded the first base hit in Tampa Bay history? And there's a hint. He is a current major league manager.
Wow, they're being kind today. I think we can get this one.
And I think he may have been for a while a Tampa Bay coach.
Oh, that definitely gives it away.
Well, then who is it?
Dave Martinez.
That's who I was thinking.
You know,
is it Dave Martinez?
There you go.
Now the manager of the Washington Nationals.
I was thinking about Gabe Kapler. You know, he played for Tampa Bay, but that was later.
Fouled away by Smith. That was a layup, especially with the hint.
The hint
was
nice.
very kind.
I couldn't
today.
believe that they did that. Nice of them. Thank you.
Been kind of fun to run through as many 98 Rays players as we could think of. Smith strikes out. That is Hamill's second. 2 down in the 6th inning. They had Wade Boggs on that team.
Yeah, I think
Fred McGriff, didn't they?
I think Wade Boggs was their first homer, if I'm not mistaken. Good pitch. He just challenged him there. That's exactly what you want to do. Your team gets you a couple runs, get right after those Rays and shut them down 1, 2, 3, and come back and help them catch them, beat them before they get out of town. Did Boggs hit their first home run?
I don't know.
He was big time. I know he got his 3,000th hit with a home run.
Kissed home plate.
That was pretty awesome.
Greg Vaughn was on that team.
They had some big.
Gerald Williams was on that team,
Yeah.
wasn't he? That's when they were the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Pena was later. Ooh.
To the gap. Daniel Robertson will round and hold at second base with a 2-out double.
Robertson, he powdered this 7th double. It's right over the middle. He barreled it. You could tell right away. And a hitter knows. Leaves the bat, splits the gap. The outfield, he's off to the races.
Hamill allowed 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 5th. Strike on Johnny Field. He is flied out to left field twice. Brad Keller was warming up very early in the game last night. He was warming up in the 1st inning. Never did appear. Kevin McCarthy, Tim Hill, and Kelvin Herrera pitched the last 3 innings. No balls, 2 strikes. Johnny Field. That sounds like a cartoon character for a baseball player. Check swing, and Dozier will take it to the bag. So Hamill has gone 6. And at the end of 5 1/2, the Rays lead 5-3. Hunter Dozier and Alcides Escobar in the bottom of the 6th inning against Matt Andries, who was a Rays Chevy call to the bullpen.
Andries going to get an opportunity here to try to hold this lead for the Rays if he can. Fastball's in the low to mid 90s. He cuts the fastball, sinker, curve and change. 28 years young. Opponent average not too bad. 233, 26 strikeouts, and 23 2/3. Tells me he's got pretty good velocity and a little bit of action to his cutter sinker combo.
A low strike to Alex Gordon. It's also our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Bart Ryan from straight down I-70 in Higginsville. 0-2. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Bart wins $1,000. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Bart wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. That is the shortstop Echeverria throwing from shallow right, so that is 6-3. Alex is out for the first time after a couple of walks, and now Andries will get Hunter Dozier. Hunter is struck out and flied to right. Down and away, ball one.
It's a little bit different to try to pick up his release point. Andries kind of throws across his body. He's got a unique windup. Makes it more difficult. And when you have good stuff that comes out of that windup, it's tough to pick up if the ball's on you quickly. Hides it pretty well, turns his shoulder, and then kind of crossfires. A lot goes in to deceiving the hitter by the pitcher's windup. They use that a lot, and so a lot of it's natural, some of it's what they pick up along the way, and then you learn more about that deception when you talk to hitters, guys that you've faced before, or because that's how you learn. You say, hey, look, you know, if you're talking to another pitcher, the pitcher's never faced you before, so you don't really know. So you can see him now. He's a little bit open there, but see, he comes up, and then that front shoulder's totally closed, and then here it comes across his body. See how far he steps with his right foot after the follow through. That's what the hitter's seeing. Mm. 94 right there.
Still 2-2 on Dozier. Andries has been mostly a starter the last 2 years for the Rays, and he's had a couple of starts this year on those so-called bullpen days. We talked about that last night. The Rays opened the season with a 4-man rotation, and the 5th spot would just be the bullpen. Still 2-2.
You guys charged. Take it. Come on, don't leave me hanging.
3-2. Alcides Escobar is on deck.
Check it out now. Next one is the 9th one. More pitches to get a little better idea. 3-2, drive one here.
And he does. Deep center field. And Smith at the wall makes the catch.
That is well stroked. Long way. Three and 2 count. He knew it was coming, but it looked like a little spinner. The slider just kind of hung up there. Didn't do a whole lot. Smith got all the way back, tracked it. Caught that in the pocket that time. Dozier getting closer to that first home run.
Alcides Escobar has flied to left. He also has a sacrifice fly. One and one from Andries. One ball, 2 strikes on Escobar. Rays really had him stacked on the left side of the infield last time he was up. And now fanned out evenly on defense, but that's a moot point as Escobar strikes out and Andries has a 1-2-3 6th inning. Seventh inning, 5-3 Rays. They got 3 in the first inning. Adeiny Echeverria drove in 2. C.J. Cron homered with nobody on in the 3rd inning. That gave the Rays a 4-0 lead. The Royals got 1 in the 4th and then 2 in the 5th. John Jay and Jorge Soler hit back-to-back doubles. Soler scored, or Jay scored on Soler's double, and then Mike Moustakas had a sacrifice fly, and now it's a 2-run game, and it's been a battle all day for Jason Hamill, but he's still in there in the 7th inning with 70 pitches. He has had only one 1-2-3 inning, and that was the 6th, so he has continued to compete, and even though he gave up 4 in the first 3 innings, he has so-called kept the Royals in the game. And now he's going to try and give Ned Yost 7 innings. 1-1 against Denard Span.
Yeah, and you know that's part of the keys before the game, in my opinion, were to get some early countouts, stay in the game that way, and be able to use that defense, pitch to contact, and he's been able to get some early countouts. Been very efficient with his pitch count. That's going to drop in there. Ooh, tough kick to the wall.
And then off the wall.
Man, that had some English on it. It hit. It just took a left-hand turn, ran Alex into the wall. Didn't have a chance. Now Alex, any ball down the line, he's looking to throw you out at second base. Takes a lot of pride in his defense, and he knows the exact angle. He knows every nook and cranny in the corner there. And see, he wanted to get it before it got to that point.
So Hamill's probably in there as long as he gets outs, but with the leadoff double, Ned's going to go to the bullpen, and Brad Keller will enter the game with a runner at second and nobody out. C.J. Cron is coming up against Brad Keller. He had our Jeep drive of the game back in the third.
Man, I'm telling you, that was short, compact. Look at the follow through. Two-hand follow through. Good launch angle. That was a beauty.
He has scored 3 times today. He was hit by a pitch by Hamill in the first and scored the home run in the third, and then a leadoff single in the fifth and scored on a double play. Keller at 96 is in for a strike.
Hamill did his best, to try to keep the team in this game. A little bit early issues, but did the best he could. 5 runs. Now it's up to Keller. Keller's been impressive. Young man, 16 in the third innings. Just 4 earned runs. Most impressive thing is 4 walks. That's it. That's exactly what they want. You come out of that pen, throw strikes, and when you got stuff like his, he's going to miss some bats. Mid-90s. Some natural sink to it. Good curve change.
And he's really been on a roll lately. He's only allowed 1 run in his last 8 outings. That covers 9 in the third. And on Friday in Cleveland, he got his first major league win with 3 scoreless innings. Cron hits it into left center field. Almonte, with the sunglasses on, retires Cron. 1 down. The Royals and Price Chopper are excited to announce the return of the Grand Slam 4-pack. Perfect for your family. This ticket package includes 4 seats in the View Reserve section plus 4 Royals caps, all for just $44. So head to your local Price Chopper to purchase this exclusive deal. Good for most Sunday through Thursday home games. Outside to Joey Wendell, 1 for 3 today.
Keller's job, just hold him. Hold him. Let the Royals offense come back and snatch it.
After Keller got that first big league win, he was retelling that story to Joel and Monty on Saturday about learning the blessing of natural cut on his fastball and how it drove him crazy early in his professional career that he couldn't control his fastball. It just kept cutting from right to left. Fouled away by Wendell, and finally a pitching coach said, look, figure out how to throw that for a strike, and you're going to have a heck of a career. I mean, there are pitchers who spend their whole career tinkering with grips just to get some sort of movement on purpose, and his is accidental. He's not trying to cut the ball. It's just how it comes out of his hand.
Yep. And they get that movement by trying to manipulate the baseball and during pregame playing catch on flat ground. But you know, Keller, as big as he is, man, 6'5", 230, man, he's got all the goods. It takes big, strong, powers through hitters, and with that natural movement, makes him difficult. You don't need to worry about span back there. So you have a visitor.
Still 1-2.
Some 96 on your hands there.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Before this year, Keller had pitched in 106 minor league games, 100 starts. So that's how the Diamondbacks viewed him before the Rule 5 draft. And with his size, you'd figure he'd have the stamina to be a starter, but having never pitched above Double-A, the Royals want to take as much stress off of him as possible. But now he's one of Ned Yo's go-to guys. We were telling the story. I asked Brett, well, why do you think you're available in the Rule 5 draft? I mean, the Royals are thrilled to get him. And he said, well, maybe I walked too many guys last year. So I looked at the numbers, and he had 57 walks in 130 2/3 innings. Wendell, speaking of walks, is on with 1 out. That's not a terrible number.
Yeah.
It's not a great number, but being pretty modest saying that. But as we discussed earlier, what probably hurt him more than anything else, there was a brand new regime that took over in Arizona. And so Brad had no history with them. So they pretty much evaluated him by what he did last year and elected not to put him on the 40-man roster, and that's how he became a Royal. 1 strike on Wilson Ramos.
Yeah, and you know, when you're pitching out of the pen, it kind of forces you to throw strikes. I mean, you know, you can't afford to come in and walk the house. You won't be in the bullpen long. The next spot out of the bullpen is back in the minors, and you don't want to lose him. But He understands his opportunity, and he's looked good so far. That's all he can do. And Hamill's hoping that he can hold span at second base.
Low to Ramos, 2 balls, 1 strike. We're talking about how many double plays the Royals have grounded into this year. 47 to lead the major leagues, and a big one today. Well, the Rays have grounded into the second most double plays in the major leagues. 41, including 1 today from the guy at the plate right now, Ramos. Now that's a negative statistic, putting the ball in play and making 2 outs, but it also reflects how many base runners you have. A lot of times teams that lead the league in double plays are also getting a lot of runners. There's 1 out here, and Salvi goes to first. So there's no way around making that a positive statistic, grounding into a double play. But it's kind of like a pitching staff that leads the league in getting double plays, and you think, wow, that's great. Well, yeah, but it also means you got base runners all over the place.
It's a good hitting team.
Second and third for Brad Miller, who has driven in 1 of the 5 runs. Over the outside for strike 1. Oh, and 2.
There you go. That's what he want to do. We talked about Miller. Likes to pull the ball. Hold him here. Don't let him get a hold of anything out over the middle, especially 0-2. Keep the ball down, away from him, or way in. Salvi's going to stay away. Oh,
Just off the outside edge.
that's borderline. Could have went. It's firm.
And Keller strikes him out anyway. So he gets around his own walk. He strands 2 in scoring position. One of those was Hamill's base runner. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals are down by 2. Sonny Gray has a 6.39 ERA for the Yankees. Jacob Junis game 1. Danny Duffy on Saturday against Domingo Germán. And then Skoglund and Severino on Sunday afternoon. All games will be on Fox Sports Kansas City. And that's after the Royals have an off day tomorrow. The Rays fly to Anaheim. So they're going to go right across the country on their current road trip, starting in Baltimore, stopping in Kansas City, going to Anaheim, and then flying all the way back to St. Petersburg.
Man.
0-2 on Almonte.
Okay, Matt Andres, he's not easy. His ball moves all over the place. Fastball, cutter, sinker, change, curve. Royals got to get something going here.
Still 1-2 on Almonte.
Well, that was a good one to hit right there. 92 middle. Throws across his body. We talked about that. He's a ground ball pitcher, kind of tough to elevate, but there's one there. Four-seamer. Just missed it. Looked like he had a little pull on that swing.
Off balance and reaching. Robertson makes a fair ball catch. One away in the 7th. And now John Jay, who has walked, singled, and doubled to extend his hitting streak to 9 games. And a look at our Toyota League leaders. 3 of the top 4 hitting streaks in the American League are here at Kauffman Stadium today. With Adam Jones leading the way, 11 games for Baltimore.
He started heating up when the Royals were in town. Adam Jones.
One and one. One and two on John Jay. Wayne Boyer is getting ready for the 8th inning with Echeverria, Smith, and Robertson coming up. John Jay with another base hit. All of his base hits have been to left field. So he's 3 for 3 with a walk. And his batting average is over 300, 301.
Yeah, nicely going. He's been in a groove for quite a while now. We showed you the hitting streak, but again, anything middle in, he's not trying to pull. That's one of the reasons he's able to use the whole field. Nice hitting. Spread it out. Can stay hot.
That gives him 25 hits this month.
Man.
And it's only the 16th.
A little Soler power and Moustakas on deck.
Soler has flied into a double play. He's been hit by a pitch. He has doubled. He has driven in a run. He has stolen a base, and he has scored a run. On base 2 more times today, so he's reached base in 34 of his 38 games. 0-2. It's harder to see when a player's not playing every day, but Jorge Soler, going back to when he was a kid, has always been one of the biggest kids on the field. So he's been pitched around his whole life. So he's had to learn from a very young age to be very selective, because going back to Little League in Cuba, they were pitching around him.
Yeah, how about that? Good for him. I mean, you know, obviously that was developed at an early age. He's always been good at it. You can learn to have better plate discipline, but it's a little harder to acquire, especially at this level.
Andrews strikes him out. 2 down in the 7th inning. That is number 2 for Andrews.
It looked like that little spike curve. See, that index finger was all curled up.
Mike Moustakas has reached on an error, walk, and he has a sacrifice fly for his 30th run driven in. Ball 1.
Some cutting, sliding action there. Want to jam Moose. Slight breeze blowing in from right field, though. Should be able to hold Moose in if he can get a hold of one. Pulls most of his homers. Especially here at the K.
One ball, one strike. Mike Moustakas is on pace to go well over 100 RBIs this year. And that would really be the last thing left on his resume offensively. He's proven he can hit for power. And for a player of his style, he can hit for average. But he has never driven in more than 85. Drove in 82 the year the Royals won the World Series. And then he was injured in 2016 and only played in 27 games. He was on pace for a big year that year. And then last year, along with that Royals record 38 home runs, he had 85 driven in.
Got hit 284 in 15. That's a nice average for Moose. You talked about his style. Not going to get a lot of infield hits, although this year he is. He has. He's got, I believe he's got 10.
At the moment, he is hitting .298. And now the Rays shift right in the middle of his at bat. And they put 3 infielders on the right side. Earlier in the game, in the middle of his at bat, they went from a shift to playing him more straight up. So, as he's done oftentimes this year, when they leave that left side wide open, he takes a shot over there with 2 strikes. So the Rays have 2 shifts on Mike Moustakas. One for early in the count and another one for later in the count.
And then we've seen the shortstop Echeverria go over there and play the shallow right field at times, and sometimes he doesn't.
And Andrews gets 2 strikeouts in a scoreless bottom of the 7th inning. So he's had 2 scoreless frames out of the Rays bullpen. It's still 5-3 Tampa Bay.
in left field for the second straight game. The Royals trail in this contest 5-3. Last night they tied it at 5 and went on to lose. They still have not led once in this series. So coming up on Boulevard Royals Live, we'll talk about the offense. More missed opportunities, or can they come back in this one? Plus, Jason Hamill struggled early, but finally got himself into a groove. We'll recap this one here from Ned Yost and get you ready for the Yankees series on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Ryan and Hud.
All right, thank you, Joel. Here's Blaine Boyer for the 8th inning. The Rays scored their 5 runs against Jason Hamill. He went 6+ innings. Brad Keller had a scoreless 7th. And now Boyer to get Echeverria, Smith, and Robertson. Joel talking about discussing the Royals offense on Boulevard Royals Live, and we talked about this at the beginning of one of our broadcasts. Now this game will just drive you wacky. Remember in April, the Royals starting rotation was doing really well.
Yeah,
the bullpen was struggling. They just couldn't score runs, and the feeling was, well, as soon as the Royals start scoring runs, gets warmer out. Now we're talking, well, now the Royals are scoring close to 5 runs per game in the last 24. But the Royals just haven't been able to balance their books, so to speak, and fire on all cylinders.
Yeah, you know, that's just how the game is. It's hard to figure, but the teams that figure the most consistency in all those 3 areas, they're able to put more wins on the board. But it's tough. Yeah, wow.
Man, watch your lips.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Woo, Escobar showing some outstanding reflexes on that one. That was a smash ball now. That's probably 100+ exit velo right at him. That's a tough one. And you just got to stay down like he is. See how he's staying down and read that hop. Is able to pick it, spin, and get it over there to Dozier. Good job of staying on the base. Definitely not routine, even though it's right at him. Boyer sinker, slider, kind of a cutter action. He's got a good changeup, but he's got to be able to hit the corners like all of them. Has had a rough start to the season, so his numbers are a little bit up there as far as ERA and opponent's average.
Two 2-0 on Malix Smith. He is 1 for 3. Got to change speeds. You got to hit the corners, and you got to make sure your shoes are tied.
No question.
No. 3-0 on Smith. Malix Smith, and as the story goes, all the kids in his family have a name with the letter M, and his mom liked a kid in the neighborhood, a smart kid named Alex, and right on cue he hits it to Alex. So she liked the name Alex, but everyone has to have a name with the letter M, so that's how you become Malix.
Okay, now. All right.
That was not very smart, however.
Nope.
Alex in the old neighborhood never would have done that.
Probably not.
There was a time when that would earn you a fastball in the ribs if you did that.
Oh, no question, especially if you're new in the league. But the game's changed. It's not the same way. It's not policed like it used to be by the players.
Robertson is out. Blaine Boyer has a 1-2-3. Top of the 8th inning.
Moment. And one thing that holds true for sure for the Royals is Escobar. Ironing down and just laying out all the time, making these plays, coming in, going back, doesn't matter. He's got great footwork, hand-eye coordination. And right here, let's show you this hop. Ooh, man, top spin hopper. Woohoo! Stay with it, glove it, get your feet there and throw. Solid. Ooh, Salvi just missed him one.
He is 0 for 3 so far, including a fly ball to the warning track in right field. A big turning point, or at least a big moment in the game for the Rays, came in the 3rd inning. On a ground ball just like that, Echeverria throws out Salvi. Tampa Bay got 3 in the 1st inning, 1 in the 3rd, so they had 4 early, and the Royals loaded the bases with 1 out in the 3rd against Jake Faria. And I think the 2 biggest outs so far for the Rays was Faria, and he really didn't make a great pitch. It was up in the zone, but he was able to get a 6-4-3 double play from Salvi in that 3rd inning. And the Royals went on to score 1 in the 4th and 2 in the 5th. But Faria's ability to get out of the 3rd inning, probably the most important inning for the Rays today. Merrifield extended his hitting streak to 10 games with a single in the 4th inning, and now he lines it into left center. Span is there, and there are 2 down, and that's 2 2/3 scoreless so far for Andriese out of the Rays bullpen. MLB At Bat is your #1 Royals app. You can customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Royals home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Alex Gordon hits it to the gap in right center field. Smith cuts it off, but Alex has a stand-up double. It's the 3rd time he's been on base today.
Nicely done. 2-out double. Alex is 4th. He'll take it. That's exactly what you do. Couldn't quite get to the wall, but didn't have to. He hits it off the end. That's 91. He's able to make some good contact. Bringing Dozier to the plate. See if they can get one closer, maybe two. Dozier's been taking some really good swings. Just missed his home run last time up. The right center field. There's action up in that bullpen.
There is no action in the Rays bullpen. Kyle Snyder is going to go out and make sure Andriese and Ramos are on the same page in pitching to Dozier, and maybe they're going out to discuss exactly that. Say, look, this guy hasn't had a great series, but he's swinging the bat well. Don't take him too lightly.
That's right. Don't miss middle in with him. Kyle Snyder, I noticed one thing when he crossed the lines. He took his sunglasses off. Okay, that's good. You know, coaches, that's a sign of respect for anybody. Whenever you go out and talk, even in the a sunny day, it's kind of overcast now, but still, I like that. He wanted some eye contact. They believe Dozier is going to pull the ball. The overshift on the left side. 3 men.
Backhand stop. And then Ramos almost took Andries's cap off. Thrown down to second base. Fine defensive catcher, Wilson Ramos. And we talked about he can hit.
Alex is ready to advance on any kind of contact.
Slow roller. Andriese did the right thing and held on to it. So Dozier has an infield single. Gordon goes to third, and now the tying run is on with 2 outs.
Tried to pull it, you know, it's a ball in the outer half, and he topped it right away when he swung at it. He said, all right, I topped it, but I know that's going to be a base hit. And that's called a pocket ball. Put it in your pocket. No chance to throw it. And they'll get a smile, 2 or 3 from some of the guys out there, but they all 3 of those guys know the importance of those hits. You got to have it. Now Escobar, not exactly a home run threat, just 185 with a runner in scoring position. Could get him one closer, maybe 2 with a gapper. Good approach he's had. Stay middle away, opposite field. Especially Andriese with his cutter sinker, breaking stuff going away from you. He's tough to pull to have success with unless it's elevated. Think middle away.
And he lines it hard to Smith in center field. So the Royals had 2 line outs to the outfield. They strand 2 in a scoreless bottom of the 8th. Rats. Brought to you by National Car Rental. Go national. Go like a pro. 5-3 Rays. That's been our score since the bottom of the 5th inning. The Royals have used Jason Hamill. He gave up 5 in 6 innings. Brad Keller and Blaine Boyer had scoreless innings. Jason Adam will be making his 4th big league appearance, which included Monday. He was impressive in an inning and a third against the Rays.
Main thing, hadn't given up an earned run, been very good. Hard fastball, mid-90s. Nice little overhand curveball, changeup to work it. Attack the hitters. 1 walk. That was his first batter he ever faced.
Number 9 hitter Johnny Field is 0 for 3. All of those at bats were against Jason Hamill. 0-2.
That's what you want to do. Pound that strike zone.
One and 2 on Field. Last night in a tie game, Johnny Field led off in the 9th inning and singled against Kelvin Herrera. Jesus Sucre singled, put 2 on, nobody out, and then with 2 down, Joey Wendell got Field to the plate, and that was the deciding run. Fastball got away from Jason. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Struck him out.
That's nice right there. Good stuff from Jason Adam. You know, I had a chance to listen to him share a little bit of his story in the spring. Early this spring, him and his wife were there. It was at Building Champions is where he grew up in that baseball academy, and they have a signing day for all their college players that move on out of that. And he was able to share his story, and I heard him talk about, you know, how hard it was every year as he took 3 seasons off to try to recover from his elbow injury, and just to hear how strong he kept. You know, his faith was strong. He had good support at home. He always believed, and had he lost any of that belief or any of that support system, he may have just went ahead and phoned it in and quit and went on and did something else. But you got to really admire his perseverance. I love his story. It's a great one.
One and 1 on Span. Ned Yost shared a funny story when he met with the media this morning, and everyone remembers, everyone still in the organization now remembers when Jason Adam was traded away to the Twins. And the Royals got Josh Willingham, who made a nice contribution, got a big hit in the wild card game, and the Royals come back in the 9th inning. But everyone was so sad to see him go. He's so well liked, so well respected, and Ned was not aware that Jason Adam was back in the organization because he was not on the roster. He was a non-roster minor league player, and Ned and Jason Adam, they crossed paths during spring training, and Jason came up and said, "Hi, Ned," and Ned was thinking, gosh, I know this kid from somewhere. Who was that? Looks so familiar. And he just wasn't aware, because that's not one of the players he had to be ready for in spring training. And then Dayton Moore told him that was Jason Adam and said, by the way, you might see him in the big leagues this year.
Fantastic. You know, he made some adjustments, shorten up his arm swing. It's going to stay up long enough for Jay to get the out. Hey Royals fans, if you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals. It's presented by T-Mobile.
C.J. Cron with 2 down. He has scored 3 of the 5 runs. Hit by a pitch, scored in the first, homered in the third. He singled and scored in the 5th. Two balls and no strikes. The Royals will have Almonte, Jay, and Soler if anybody gets on Moustakas in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2-1. Cron let it fly and he missed. 2-2. And for a 3rd straight game, the Royals will see Alex Colomé, who will have at least a 2-run lead in the 9th inning today. He had a 1-run lead Monday and a 1-run lead last night.
Oh man, he just totally abused the Rays. Outstanding job, Jason Adam. Keep it up. Powered. And excellent fastball, breaking ball.
Major league outings for Jason Adam, and now he has struck out 6 in 5 1/3 innings, so he keeps it at 5-3. And the Royals have Almonte, Jay, and Soler against Alex Colomé, who is going for his 9th save of the year.
Yep, he's been getting the job done with his stuff. He's got a nice mid-90s fastball, slider, changeup. 6'2", 220. He's a 29-year-old. He's challenging hitters coming right after.
There was a little bit of drama in the 9th inning on Monday when he allowed a 1-out triple to John Jay, and the Royals had the tying run at 3rd with only 1 out. Almonte takes ball 1, but Colomé was able to get out of that with a strikeout and a ground out. Last night he allowed a 2-out single to Goins, but Goins never got into scoring position. 1-1 on Almonte. He is 0 for 3. 1-2. The Rays just got 3 innings from Matt Andriese. 3 scoreless innings from Matt Andriese. Starter Jake Faria went 4 1/3. Chaz Rowe got 2 outs, and then Andriese 3 innings, 3 strikeouts. Almonte lines it to center field. The Royals have their leadoff man on in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's a nice piece of hitting there. That's exactly what the Royals need. Get something going here in the 9th. Short, little swing on a pretty good located pitch there. Nothing wrong with the location. As you can see, that ball's down the lower part of the zone. Hard heater, but that's what you want to do. Shorten up the swing. Look at the head position. Stayed right on it. A lot of territory there in the middle. If you can get it over the shortstop's head. Now, see if they can build on it. Facing a pretty hot hitter in John Jay. I mean, he's like in a tree. He's raking. So Ramos wants to pitch him inside, and I don't blame him. Anything middle away, staying inside the ball with his hands, lace into left field. His batting average up over 300 in his 9-game streak.
Two 2-0.
If they can get him in trouble and get to the power that's coming behind him.
Here's a strike. Colomé is trying to accomplish 3 saves in 1 series for the 5th time in his career. Foul. 2-2.
Jay doing an outstanding job this year in that leadoff spot when Ned puts him in there with a .350 on base percentage, or over that now after today. He's getting on base. Needs some of that power that hits behind him to move him around.
Got him. 1 down in the 9th inning, and up comes Soler. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. And now Colomé and Soler, who has driven in a run today. Down and away, ball 1.
Like to get Soler to chase, but he's well disciplined in the strike zone. That base he stole was uncontested. I mean, he walked into third base. No one even looked at him. But he wants to get one elevated here so he can put it in the seats. Missed it.
Smith brings it down 2 away. Just got underneath it.
Sure did. That's the rip he wanted. Just missed it. Big yard here at the K. That's a little spinning slider that didn't do a whole lot. Belt high. That's the one. Could have tied it up, and he missed it. See what Moose can do.
This is his first at bat against Colomé in this series. He is 0 for 2 in the past against the Rays closer. Moustakas drove in his 30th run of the year with a sacrifice fly. in the 5th inning, and that is the last run that has scored for either team. It's been 5-3 since the bottom of the 5th.
Half of his homers this year have come here at the K. He's not afraid to go deep, and he'll pull him. He's hit one to the opposite field, but he likes to pull him. Slight breeze, but it's not going to hurt him coming in. And he can keep the line moving with Salvi on deck. And he kind of base hit.
Two and one.
He's not looking out there yet. With 2 strikes, he'll look out there and he'll go with the pitch.
Two and two.
Yeah. Colomé, nice change up there. Now, even though it was center cut middle, he pulled the string and moves to pull off. See what Ramos wants to do here. They're wise to keep the ball away from him. Maybe some off speed. He got Jay on the slider.
Almonte runs, and it's grounded foul.
I'm sure they're aware that Moose loves that fastball. He swings at him 58.3% rate, but also he's got a 352 average against fastballs this year. That's 3rd best in Major League. So that's the one he's looking for. But a 2-2 count here with him being the tie and run. I don't know if they're going to serve him up one. It's a pretty good slider they just had. Now same pitch coming. They're not going to give him a fastball.
And Colomé gets the strikeout to end the game and the series. The Tampa Bay Rays, who struggled against the Royals more than any other team, struggled against one opponent in the major leagues over the last 5 years. They come into Kauffman Stadium and they sweep a 3-game series, all close games. 1 run Monday, 1 run last night, a 2-run game today. Final score, Tampa Bay 5, the Royals 3, and we'll be right back.